탐제 라와다 오르시리라. 베나 지구사데 무조 겨울랜단 저러. 저번에 겨숨 속내 겨숨 속면에 겨숨 레미자 지구스고래.
So, verse 40, it grants fulfillments of beings' aims. It can also be like persons. The 9 categories, there's like 3 within the desire realm, 3 in the form realm, and 3 in the formless realm. So 9 categories.
베나 데바 숨디 칸델라는 데바네 시로 데바네 마시 데바레 겨울니 직체로 아 데바네 시니 술레 겨울니 직요로 니 데발레 시니 수메레 겨울니 직요로 숨도서 아디나시 술레 신 양자 술레야 겨울니 직 술레시 데발마 겨울니 직 술레시 수메레 겨울니 직 아니 대나신 수밀라 수밀레시 수밀게 수밀레시 되발게 수밀레시 술레게 발레 어들라 기구스 테
Yeah, so kigu, there is not stated explicitly in English, but beings are 9 categories. So the 9 come about from taking the basis of the desire realm. The desire realm being dies, and again is born into the desire realm, that's 1. Or the desire realm being dies and is born into the form realm, 2. And then the desire realm being dies and is born into the formless realm. Then you take the form realm as a basis. So the form realm being dies and again is born in the form realm, or form realm being dies and is born into the desire realm, or form realm being dies and is born into the formless realm. And then you do the same with the formless to formless, formless to desire, and then formless to form, making 9 types of transmigrations.
Oh yeah, 다데네 디치도 디치도 휴진이 lal라구다 신데서 두베니다 문제서 정맥겨야 당사데 디치도스 나 동바점된데 네 동바점된데 뭐바도 산 동니 동니 된중남샤시 전주sem공 산제로 산제의 인자 디치도 아니 라라 구당 나 구당 신기 소 when you launch it so tangme kyawa tangme be thalaya ne tinde sona mango ji sawala dene ni chungde bare sungwe ro
Now 41, for its sake you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, sometimes your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. So Shakyamuni Buddha, through settling on emptiness, the correct view, lack of intrinsic nature, by means of dependent origination, and meditating on bodhicitta, obtained to that state of full awakening. To that end, over countless great eon, gave away many lifetimes body, many lifetimes one's very life, and accrued a lot of merit doing so.
dene tamato shawra tizishiremda
Yeah, so we'll keep going, there's not a lot of time. 42.
kange yende thon jejunya la chi ni to ran chule ma de gyawa shinsta yende thon yende ro jemne de yende gu yende song yende tu yende thon yende ando pena jejunya la kombate na shi jeju khala shayo ro yadu de kombate na shi jemne de yi tu gi ni ji tu gosong tu gi yende ge chue de ni ji ma pe de tang ran de la ya chi di ma tu na de shinda tu ya ge gyawa kene chule ma tu gyawa shinsta dinju namsha song wa da ne chue hawa tamje jumbo kutoya ge lamgre rimba sunshang yo de ta tomba jumdin de le matwe shin la ya ni thoya ge ngo kugab de mendus ra.
Yeah. Seeing the qualities of this teaching pulls hard from your heart, just like what a hook does to a fish. Sad it is not to have heard it from you. Seeing the qualities of Shakyamuni Buddha's holy body, speech, and mind, and the qualities of Dharma within that. And, just like, it's like the way a fish is attracted to a hook pulls like that, but not having heard it directly from Buddha.
Ti nyangin shuki ni tubay pula mayi je soma chi shi dagi ni tomi chi si. Ta dinde ni chumden de ta kasa gore. Tubay pula mayi je soma chi dagi ni tomi chi si di ta yela chu son sambana. Ta dirwa. Ta ngay tanda chumden de ye ni dinde ta chi kasa gore. Pugu miji la dungye shuji nyande na pame ni 부국의 동해 파마게 동해 세워치 나시 밤에 부자게 좀되게 동해 양아 세안돼 치워대 나시 아니 좀 된대지 양 아니 제수 먼저 주기 인스를 봐 당에 좀 된대 마시 신다게 제수 주기 이미 인스를 봐 다지 부국질라 아니 지 동해다 강해다 양해를 된대요나 마디 새가 누구라 아래 아마디 새가 누구라 제나시 말한소라 직내가 직심 동에다 강이 가르쳐 보이나야 좀 된데미시 좀 된데 제송야 되미시 지다 신다 다 되게 디스팅고 가서 치매도 왜 잡다 다 얘네 동미치 지다 좀 된데 잡냐지 송기미시 신다 잡 송기면서 디송고요다
Just like verse 43, a mother, the mind of a mother goes after a dear child. If the child is going through difficulties and sufferings, the mother will seek out where the child is and try to console or try to remove the sufferings. Just like that, having come across your teaching, Shakyamuni Buddha, I will never let it go from the mind, meaning never not recall, never forget. And in that light, that's like my refuge in you is all pervasive. You're solely that refuge. Yes.
다 딜레야 추송 삼반나스야 다 먼저 좀 된데 심 삼연도 단다 제르미랑 송고요라 니 삼연도 니 쳔베베지라고 심는 돈바 좀 된데 베지 생난 중인스러워 제르미라고 니 쳔베베바 라드바 니 그거 타외 용스 거데버와 니 돈바디에 송디야 송창베양 한 텐데기 딘니 딘냠디 송다 딘데지 송 최탐제 라신이 투어 야마레 텐네 총어레 세야데 한 텐데기 디송송 스타디 직치마데 님들라네 일라 투베 숭니니 샤와잔 사와이 좀 된데 이일라 텐데지 샤와잠지 수수게 생그 동에다 강에다 도스 상마베 참모 문바게 날라 다와샤운데 문바세와 테나시 베세와 최송 스니베데 사동 세송 돈바전인데 또 페이지 셰시보다 와지 송구도 알아.
Yeah. The next two verses are as if Lama Tsongkhapa has had a vision of Shakyamuni Buddha and heard the voice, like, here too as I reflect on your words, meaning I reflect on your teaching that all phenomena lack true existence and are dependent arisings. I think blazing with the glory of noble marks and hallowed in a net of light rays. So that vision of the appearance of Buddha, but also this teacher in a voice of pristine melody, the sound of the voice, spoke in such a way, so would have talked like this, and independent on that voice, and then reflecting on the form of the Buddha, as it appears to one's mind, it soothes me. 44, 45.
대다 매디 총원 육산티암 계획스와 대다 매디 총원 육산티암 교 배워 자신의 넘버 권지 증마체스 다 제가 아니
Maybe chung.
대다 매디 총원 레셰디 육산티암 미케와 지그와 미케와 지
Mikeba.
아니 교 배워 자신들다
Ale.
교 배워 자신들다 가서 원래 내다 디셰 하마고니 되게 녀다 동해 지 탑란 냠슬랭가 제외네 동해 체를 단신 교수라지라 남바군데 증마 차스디 로
Yeah.
일래야니 텐데가 남샤데 마도나나 다 가져지 배 상무단데네 지 땅에 철철 되르면시지 네세 탑란게 요마레스디 송고로 미케와 직다인데
This excellent system, most marvelous, meaning the teaching of dependent origination. Some individuals who are not so learned, mikepa, the ones who are unlearned, so either they've come across the teaching, they're unable to understand it, or they don't know it, and engage in various methods, which actually result in more suffering and more clinging, because they don't see the dependent origination of things. And the suffering increases.
수디 톤에 다기 니스로 배워 두메 케와 있다. 내가 딘데지 톤 윤두 아니에 또 좀 된데 아니 배워 두메 깔래 망고 잡제 또 좀 된데 제수 탕기 인스로 탕에 아니 제수 탕에 최진의 공부양다 양도 제스다 제가 네 제가 제일 무슨 다외게 다와 투다 줘야라 깔래 쉬우잡 배워 두메스도 소사들 좀 쉬우제라 제가 배워 두메스도 소사 디와장 네 라마라 소와다 베제다 인데 제월 되네 안좀 된데이다 가도 그 따와데 공부양다 양도 제스 좀 된데 이 공부원에데 가리임에 베드 양네 양도 제베 인스로
Have entangled it in utter confusion, just like the tangled Balbazar grass. That's the analogy of those not understanding the doctrine. Then 47, seeing the situation, I strove with a multitude of efforts to follow after learned ones and sought your intention again and again. Really trying to follow Shakyamuni Buddha's intention with tremendous effort. Intention meaning what was Buddha's intent, what was behind the teaching, the final meaning, to see the final thought of a Buddha. In that sense, Lama Tsongkhapa collected a lot of merit and purified. Collected merit and purified, then saw the Guru as inseparable from the deity, studied a lot, and then was able to settle on the final view.
대제란시 대화 예스라 대제랑기 대화 가래서나 지라모 또 대화 쓴다만 오마란 주가도 저거래가 랑 대화지 신기 대화도 전에 지다 등산 이슈다 가제다 네 최신의 와트제샤 중만달라 장만나 다 디제게 중망볼라 장제 배전 제외이나 치지天宗 차와인 다위는 군도 동시天宗게 차와 최규파샤네 이라 동해 연구도 강해 연구도 서로 근데 다되더라
Yeah. And at 48, at such times, following in the steps of the learned ones, I studied the numerous works of both our own, meaning the middle way view of reality, and then other schools, also non-Buddhist, I examined. But then, let alone Dharma, my mind just suffered being tormented in this network of doubt.
제단데다 제일 무친 동이 다와 마체고는 슝망고 쉬어지 로장 제임으로 이제는天宗그 다와 봐주의샤제天宗 체르체르 조제 네 심라 동해 용야를 미지게 대화 계지다 민두성으로
Lama Tsongkhapa is stating that studied so many texts, examined them, and let alone unravel the network of doubts, they just got worse and the mind suffered as a consequence.
다 이다요 다기는 군데 최질라면 태고에서 여담에 타면 최질라면 최지다 인데 이나야 도마 좀 된데 최질라나면 태고에서 아니 여당 매배 타방 버봐 여다다 그거다 메타 니 데모토면은 매고 말해서디 다다단 체다니 여다다 메다니 방배 타디 우메람 치다와 신두 고물 좀 된데지 송배 람데 치드 아니 치다와 신 되어더니 네 좀 된데 라니 룽된배 고물루루지와 고물루루지 슝 슝과 고물루루지 슝당 지메진배 진거지 고물루루지 슝제 지메진배 진거지 소라칼라 통메지 탄진이 뭐 봤어요. 네 고물루루지 슝
49, unraveling your unexcelled vehicle as it is, shunning extremes of existence and non-existence. So not falling to the extremes of taking something to exist truly when in fact it doesn't, or the opposite, deprecating something that's valid and thinking that it's not the case. But doing that by examining the conqueror's intent just as it was intended through Nagarjuna's texts, through Nagarjuna's texts.
좀 된데게 유명이 타방을 우면람데 고물루르게 지다와시 지마메베 지메진베 진고로와 지마메 니 된데게 켐베이시 와 지마 된지기 지메마고 도도기 지메마고 된데게 니 켐베이시 진고로로 제도와 당 송라 칼라 통메주스 송라 대송베 네 송라들라 나 토보메 오지와 텐데 따요인데 탄진이고 뭐봤어요. 딱다단 타르바 짐베 닝기 문바디 따파 세송스로 닝기 문바 셀송 송을 텐데 따요인데.
Yeah, so studying Nagarjuna's or the conqueror's thought through the texts of Nagarjuna, what are removed are these stains of clinging to things as being truly existent, or the stains of clinging to things in a reified manner or non-existent manner. So then those extremes are shunned.
롱메주가 씨는 봤을 록바 다지 록바망에서는 따와 록바 제시장이도 들어와 배나 주거르스도 까마르와 까마 와 채나고는 까마망고 샤데이나 다와직 샤요인데 다와디 까마성만 쓰기는 식으로 이나시 이네 텐데 쓰기는인데 반덴 다와타베 렉셰와 반덴 다와타베 렉셰 텐주 우만주바와 우만주바게 네 텐데게 슝 텐데라야 아니 로가 팀의 세션에 스티페로 다외 외디게 청마 세연디 네네 가도 심 멤버세도라 테나시 아니 좀 내내 이송배 슝디 고물루루기 세워치 고물루루기 소에 슝디 아니 반데 다와타고에 마 텐데 대산적이 텐데 야 아니 라메티 라마 미 남제 라마 오마와당 파이 남제 지든 잠배양기 니 라메틴라 때네 통에 쳇스로 가르통어래라나 유민이 타방부 우메다와디 통어래로 이 통연데 니 다가 있는 게서도 당아 심라 신두 녜수 톱송 소래 다 돈이 떠는 것이 심 코어디나는 녜수 토예요 뭐다.
Right. So now that Nagarjuna clarified the conqueror's intent, Shakyamuni Buddha's intent on the nature of reality, but also verse 50, illuminated by the garland of white lights of Chandra's well-uttered insights. Chandra, whose stainless wisdom orb is full, glides freely across scripture's space. Here we have that, of course, Shakyamuni Buddha taught dependent origination, lack of intrinsic nature, Nagarjuna clarified the conqueror's intent, but Chandrakirti, in Interest of the Middle Way and so forth, commented on that clarification. And then what that did was to dispel the darkness of extremists' hearts, meaning that either of the two extremes, isn't it? The extreme of existence or the extreme of non-existence. And then that middle way outshining the constellations of false speakers. So what Lama Tsongkhapa then did was to rely on the kindness of his teachers to finalize that view. Because Lama Umawa and Manjushri, out of their kindness, then finally Lama Tsongkhapa's mind was able to rest, saying that until we settle on the view of emptiness and we're in the constraints of samsara, our minds won't be at rest. It's so true, no? It's true, isn't it? Until we realize emptiness, this clinging to an I, this, our mistaken consciousness, our mistaken perception of an I, and we feed that, and that is, we're hallucinate in that regard. And we talk about going on holiday. We're not really going on holiday until we cease to cling to that mistaken. Yeah, if you really want a holiday, realize the true nature, realize emptiness. Kindness.
And give on la jamba me machines, Najo Jumbo Kiloshi, Tanzo Chimbo de la Taku, and there you got in some yundu, and Taringa Tomba Jumde de Jazz Tum, Tembe Tembala Rab the Chum, and it gave us on la jamba memes in the king of it, Tang, of Junior Yuji Chains or Be King Jong, I did Binyam Junchora, I did Melchigora. And though you know, I giant, I can Jadang day. Nghe shung den de dai chiu chei nga je jan nga nghe xin yu yang la de ra je lu ma xin ge be song la jang ba me me xin me me ba ji nyu nyu ji che yin si ro nian jiu le zhen ba nian jiu ju be zhen ba ge long xi nian jiu da tuen nian ma lan jiu zhen yi ge long nyam jiu ji yin chang sun qian bo de la de du chang sun qian bo si le zhong den de ye la ya ni ku be
So these next two verses, 52 and 53, are showing tremendous respect to Shakyamuni Buddha. And then 53 is voicing humility, not pride. So of all your deeds, your speech is supreme. Within that too, it is this very speech. So the wise should remember the Buddha through this teaching of dependent origination. Following such a teacher and having become a renunciate, here the kindness of remembering Buddha and going forth as ordained. Having studied the conqueror's words not too poorly, this monk who strives in the yogic practices, such is the depth of reverence to the great seer. The great seer meaning Shakyamuni Buddha. It should actually read that Lama Tsongkhapa just studied, kind of a little. The king wa mayambatsik de lobjong nyung nyung jabshi. Yeah, it's almost like it should say, I know a little from what I've studied.
We come
to the fourth of our 4 outlines of dedication.
Tombalana me tembadan, Jawat in the Lametin, be Jawati and Romana, Senior Tambits and be Jurumosta, Tomba Lana me temba. Tomba Sanje Jumde, Kizangazuta, Lana Mewa Yimbe Jumde Chusunga, and the day Temba than Jewa. A day around Sanje Temba than Je, the Lama Rang Chin in Silva. Lame Chin in Tendege, Gewasa Shawa de, and Gewasa Shawa de Rani, Doa Simje, Tamje, and the Shenye Tambas, the Geweshin, Sin the Temba, Chik Ziage, and the Gula. Ro jushi stati kyeche more wrong. Manzo melamdi yansen as jawa.
Now here, we've already praised Buddha as being an unexcelled teacher, but it's due to one's teacher's kindness that one met the teaching of that unexcelled teacher, and the virtues of that are dedicated towards all beings being sustained by valid teachers, by sublime spiritual mentors. This is important for us to do again and again, that all sentient beings meet with spiritual friends.
Izanda ngo melan che de le gewa de nga thaba thoba sho nga sanje thoba sho sungume do simje tamje 신이 담배 진배 규롱 와 sho simje ki tonje nya tosim shig do ro.
Yeah, in this dedication it doesn't say, by these merits may I be a Buddha, by these merits may I be liberated. It is talking about all beings obtaining that state by virtue of these merits to Buddhahood.
다드네 지진요 데 편제디 덴바시베 등 인도론 진나마 메요시 덴뱅은 주신네 덴발라 이진요다 다데레 덴발라 죽단데 아니 이진예바 이지 덴발라 이지게단데 편제 펜바 도심진라 펜바 바식 제베 덴바데 아니 지시 시데바데 인도론기 넘버 메시지 다 년도 롱게 요르당 안저 템바 망고 쉬어지 템바 자갈나 괴자 쉬어충으로 다 자갈나 넘버 탑조 쉬어서도 알아 아니 단다 인도네시아에서 자가게다 너마 베베 낭베게 아프가니스탄도 파키스탄도 너마 유럽 당원이 와서 뭐시방 아우토고 드마다와다 베 낭바르도 알아 주가 주지도 낭베 롱버레도 다 년도 롱게 요제 아니 같이 다다 서셔도 알아 텐데기 아니 지금 년도 롱게 넘버 메요 템발라 셀레 메와 아니 템베 응주시네 템발라스 템베 산제 좀 된대지 템바지어로 롱게 템바다 도베 템바 디시네 아니 신도 산제 좀 된도라 이진이요 당보 좀 된들 이진이요라 템베 송베 롱다 아니 데네 저저도 도베 템바 롱게 템바도서 근데 유메지 셰고래와 디시네 신도 템발라 이진이요데 송고요 이진이와 따도 강원쇼 따든데기 아니 점블링들이야 뭐네 남과 신이상 템뱅은 주시 덤벌에 이진이 되는 신자지 메시지 아니 추킬게 추칼게 총잡되면서 추칼게 미국어 단대에서 근데 마요 버쇼 송고요 따라와
May the teaching of this beneficent one to the world's end be unshaken by the winds of evil thoughts. May it always be filled with those who find conviction. So here it's the case that when Buddhism was propagated initially, it became prevalent in India, but also places like Pakistan, Indonesia. The doctrine we're talking about, its dissemination and spreading, but then, the winds of evil thoughts, energy change, and then like countries overcome with Islam and so forth. So what's important here is that the doctrine, the teaching that is twofold, scriptures and insights, it is in dependence on that one gets conviction in what Buddha taught. So the doctrine comes first, and then in dependence on understanding the scriptures and insights gained therein, conviction is developed in Buddha. May it always be filled with those who find conviction, that one, in the teacher by understanding the teaching's true nature. So meaning that the doctrine, what it expresses in the scriptures, and then the meaning is realized, and then the conviction in Buddha's word. You know, that's the way we preserve the Buddha doctrine in this world, by that process, not by treating Dharma lightly or selling it or using it as a business or a means of deception, but by that way. Yes.
Tene chunga tingi seze wasra. Ne tene chunga tingi ta. Tenjunga namsha songa tingi sewa zewa de. Tuwe lusan kyawa tamje dus. Tuwe lusan. Tuwe lu. Tuwe jumdende ki temba de. Ne dewa de la ya. Kyawa tamje du. De zinjung besum chiya ki chidu. Rani ki luyu dan sojan tani zimba la. Eji zan luwa manju chis. 제가 템베 치두 류당 소당 롱저당 아니 템바 진종 베숨 치야게 탄달라 계직 점이야 효와메와 아니 진버 규지 담면람디 캬다 면람도서 오늘 잠나야 고요라
These are wonderful aspirations to make, that at the behest of my body, life, wealth, you know, through all my births, I will give them up. To uphold the excellent way, meaning the doctrine of the sage, what Buddha taught, and never falter for an instant from that resolve. These are good to make, no?
Temba chodi kawapame temba sidu simji dungele na de wala ya denye ki chodi sanje junden de grwa de kawa pangme ji nende nyimbo zene duwa idis da temba choge ne sanje junden de ji kale ki kejen thame sunla so pangbo se kawa che ane chode la nende ki nyimbo duwa che ane 탑 khanshi ki pewar gyonyambe ane dende ki da tomba jumdende yi ane temba dini 탑 khanshi ki pe ya chi temba rinjisho yi ma kyawa sa da sanje ki temba mesa la pa kyawa che ka yowa di yang ane ya hongbe de to ane dende ki ane chi namjo jenji mi dende wa namba juwe nyinze dawa shos namba juwa sa gyurnyambe sa susu samlo de sanje ke temba zinjo besum chiala ya namjo ge sim yunyi de ge ni sim de namba juwe nin dan chen bezo me wa ni temba zinjo besum chia yunyi chi yon sho si song re ro
57, by what means I can enhance. So the teaching achieved by the Supreme Savior through strenuous efforts over countless eons, that Lord Buddha went through so much difficulty to disseminate the essence of the teaching, that we may actualize it, and actualize it in the sense that, you know, by whatever means I can enhance, meaning that in those places where the doctrine doesn't exist, setting it forth, and then in those places where the doctrine does exist, increasing it by whatever means one can. That could be for those that are suitable to do it, spend the day in study, whatever means one can.
da laksan tabe chüde zomba na changda ombo ji den gyong da laksan tabe chüde zomba na se laksan tabe temba la ane rewa mewe to ne laksan tabe be gulong changma je to ne ane temba zingyong be sum chinye to zo la ane changba da jigdong gyong wa se de ne gyawo de gejin shi ba gejin shi de jigdong gyong Amixé lende nago sidi gombo chadu la so be suma de zege ene temba hasan tabe gone ne temba jinjo be sum chini de zola ya yo me wa ta de ne tho chiro chi ro wa chi sho so ke gu re ro
The final resolve or request of assistance, the one wants to, with a pure intention, meaning no kind of negative agenda, with a clean heart, with a pure intention to uphold the doctrine, and in doing so may be supported by the guardians of the world. They are like Brahma, Indra, and so forth, and also protectors such as Mahakala. Unswervingly, always assist me in doing that.
네, 공부차도 네 뭐 제레시로 알아.
Ladala.
제레시 숨마 넘버 10 요지레스.
So really, Mahakala is manifestation of Chenrezig. So be protected by Chenrezig.
제가 다 단다디 먼저 내다 먼저 되는 티 도트레스토라. 지대다 롱님도 탑대 저런도 가서는 예 책지 야말려 말로셔라.
Yeah.
나 로스 보여 말에 디 책체되는 로가셔라. 나 책다 책간지 매 마체와 도인자 딜 셰룽 라요 셰룽 셰바 당 롱님도 도되요라.
So now we've had the teaching or explanation of in praise of dependent origination, as well as the long transmission.
셰룽 톱사레스로.
Yeah, that's cool. So you've got the Shalong, meaning the transmission, because I've been through each of the verses, without missing any of the words. So that's been received, as well as the explanations that went with it. Yes. Yeah.
Ramshin 어디 토비오레스 세상아서 무신기 지난서 비디지에 마셔 용나 지난서 펜도 티라면서 롱님도 라도고 요레 펜도 요레스.
So there's a question from Chöden Rinpoche clarified this for us, that if you have been to every class that I've given, like of the philosophy, you not only get the explanation of the teaching, but you also get the transmission at the same time.
그래서 왜 춘들음은 베지티디 직지에 맞춰 티그 가서나 롱rum은 롱요 셜롱요 인자 베지티에 정말 롱요 셜롱요도 직지에 매우 전전 티그 잠무장에 티그로.
And that's because when one takes the teachings from Chöden Rinpoche, he teaches purely, he doesn't miss one word. So it not only becomes a transmission, but a shelung, like our knowledge, experience, and transmission.
어디에 따뜻한데 봐 니만이나라 하나도 니직트 삼 지기 정화데 빼 그거 양보래로 하니 다대나네 저디 땐 딜스나도 땐 중스나래 다 책들 거든 관이오지 책들이 된다 하고지 그거였다.
2 days we've had the chance, a good opportunity to hear, reflect, and meditate on this text in praise of dependent origination. So we should take away the clarity of Dendrel, dependently arising, dependently originated.
Then so the chiglechick tende yoreswa, chiglechick tende yores, the tagda dodo said or tagda said or tagbetaro.
Now, this notion, the first word to depend, that something depends on something else, eliminates the extreme of permanence or reification.
Yeah,
what's being eliminated is the view or the extreme of permanence. Yeah, so to depend automatically is cutting that things exist truly or inherently. The arising or the origination is going to cut the extreme of non-existence. So if not truly existent, it doesn't mean non-existent, because if things don't exist truly or inherently, it doesn't mean that they don't exist at all. Because they originate and they appear, they arise.
디게데 바르마 제 가상이 띵라마 봄자다는 것 봄데스 잡나 야고 요레스로.
Now as we went through those three levels of dependent origination, you know, those cause and effect, cause and conditions, parts, and then existing in mere name, it is good if we can apply that to ourselves in meditation.
다 간상의 띵도 아니 줌젠 리바 줌젠 다 만드네 돈이 또 비나 다 된데게 리바디게 줌젠디게 누바디 마냥바 요나 치스 최 간데지 간라야 아니 대dem바 투바 이나 메나 라모네 투바 이나 메나 삼다나 문 최딩딩이 돈이 또 도래서 그래 줌젠 사고 삼당 말 nga르게 간상게 띵게 돈바니 또게 로디 누바지로 디 마냥바 요나 누가디 줌젠데 마냥바 요나 아니 치즈 풍보레 테브레 쪽스레 딘델 삼다인데 데템바토 이나 메나 손다디 아딜람사 데마토 마레스 아니 데 삼다인데 추 탐제 덴도 주마다부세데 도야라 용구요레 데 용구요레스로
And when one sets out to realize through various reasons the lack of intrinsic nature of the person and meditates on that, and if one ascertains the person's lack of intrinsic nature and it doesn't degenerate, that understanding, then one can apply that to other phenomena. You know, one is then thinking, oh, what about other phenomena? Do they truly exist? Do they inherently exist or not? There's no need at this stage to bring forth new reasons if the reasons you've used to get to the lack of self persons are still potent and have not degenerated. Then you can apply the same reasons to books, tables, pens. And then in that context, all phenomena will have this empty, illusory-like quality.
돈이 또래 단다 타녀되어 쇼바디 군조 참고 저야디 갈레카고야 돈이 다 참마파 까셔는 그래서 당부배디 나와 유저를 파 까셔와 항어하지 까셔지 그래서 냠샤지 몰라 치칸요다 동반님이 치칸요 말아 제가 안아서디 돈이 공단을 망아단데 공단이 닝저외냐
Now it is more difficult to understand emptiness by positing how things exist conventionally than it is to just negate things' intrinsic nature in terms of a negation. Because, you know, when you're in meditative equipoise on emptiness, only a vacuity appears, emptiness, even the appearances are negated. Oh, sorry, Krishna. I forgot to say that it's quite beautifully done in Tantra, this method. Susukamparwa.
Ngula semje tamje ranil suitim lo. Semje da. Ne lama da sanje da tamje suzula suitim. Ne semje tamje suzula suitim lo. Ante jela ne rirawa kanyi dige kangwa la tim. Kangwa de ya suzu lu la suitim. Lu de ya ne tome ni ne pa tim. Wa. Tus je ne na nga sa jibo mi shilha marwa. Nga khora Langone tuwa di zeni mani wa dinde samdami na di gomda di nyingji wa.
Yeah, the beauty of the tantric meditation on the lack of intrinsic nature or emptiness is to do it by means of the world. First sentient beings, first you would dissolve. Yeah, first the merit field is dissolved into oneself, and latterly all sentient beings dissolve into you. And then the surrounding environment, the world, mountains, countries, all of it dissolves into your home or house. which then in turn dissolves into your body. Your body then dissolves. So yeah, dissolving from the head down and from the feet up. So you're left, the eye is kind of left there, that notion of eye. Now at that stage, one examines the eye to see if it exists truly or not, tries to find it. So when we die, that's what happens. It's kind of going to happen. Yeah, and then also when we go to sleep at night, we can do that visualization of that dissolution. Yeah, so if one can meditate like that, it is quite a wonderful way. Shall we dedicate now? Again to bring all together. No, that's a bit of man. Yeah. You. And you know each other. Ne yuji ye dinyo guru rane mendela gami adaya gyawadi nyudu da lama sanje doju owa che jamale ba de sala go parasho chanjo semjo rembo chi ma che bana che gyo Yewa nyamba mewa yang kone kondu pebara sho chambe jida jimba da kunde zambo diyan diye da kunye je supe ne gyawa da tunde da tunde do jebe gyawa da je mo gan ha je da je ge zo de kunye sambo je je da do je che gyawa da ma je je da ma de ma je da ma jo ma je je mo da
When the office of obstacles be specified and all the circumstances be complete. Which grant in the children so that every single benefit and happiness in this world. Bringing comparative time, things and depth so I beseech. And the Lord which is from heaven. Savior of the Southern teachings and transformed greatly beings. We message to which clear the path and the inspiration of optimism and compassion. The Lord is holy things and depth so I beseech. May all the holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You who uphold the subduous moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all. defend, preserve, and spread in our victorious doctrine. In God's spirit, between never some prayers honoring the three jewels. Saying that myself and others your disciples, please, fulfill your term. Where alive in the two generations of myself and others and the three times. May the teachings of the conqueror will send our population to our and one of the prayer. Fearless teacher in the assembly of the children.
Amen. Then by his name, Son Jehovah, thank you.
For explanation and practice, you will be our and the Bible or I was importantly for sake of Victoria's one teachings. The soul gave way to the joy of present happiness and knowledge. And the one of the beings, without any defined things, and the unseen truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of what should help the children of the victorious ones. May the smile of nations will bring me the glory of the Lord to them.